Okay, so who is reading for us? Anyone to read for us?
Okay, I'll read.
Okay, all right.
Number 1. All these are sources of funds for PSGH except donations, quick loan, grants, retention fees.
All right, so which of them is the exception?
B.
Yeah, quick loan. So these are sources of funds except the quick loan. Let's move on.
Number 2. Kakraba, a renowned businesswoman who deals in real estate, is contracted by PSGH for a plot of land. The contract of deed between Kakraba and PSGH shall be under A. The signatory of the President. B. Signatory of the Treasurer. C. Signatory of the President and countersigned by the Executive Secretary. D. The Common Seal.
All right, so what are we going for?
D.
Which one are you going for?
You, the common seal.
So common seal, right? Any reason why it's common seal? All right, so when you read the law under Article 9, where it talks about powers to acquire society and to acquire property, it reads, a society may acquire, hold, manage, or dispose of any equipment, immovable or movable property by sale, mortgage, lease, or may enter into a contract. Any contract which, in the case of private individual, may be required to be by deed, shall be executed or issued on behalf of the society under its common seal. So Kakraba here is a private individual which PSGH is engaging to get a land. So if they are to agree, the agreement shall be under a common seal, which is an imprint or a stamp with the name of PSGH. So if you are dealing with a private individual, then the contract will be under a common seal. Let's move on.
Number 3. The Code of Ethics of PSGH is only binding to full members and fellows of PSGH. True or false?
Okay, so true or false?
False.
I'm hearing everyone going for false. So why false? So the membership of PSGH, we talked about full membership, associate membership, honorary membership, corporate membership, then fellowship. When it comes to the code of ethics, it applies to all members of the society. Whether you're a full member, you are honorary, you are corporate, it's all members. Just for full members, but all members of the society. Let's move on.
Number 4. Honorary and associate members are not obligated to pay PSGH dues. True or false?
All right, so true or false? What are you going for? Yeah. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hello. Yes, please.
Yeah. So what are you going for? Yeah, I think we are on question 4, right? So honorary members and associate members are not obliged to pay PSGH dues. True or false? Is anyone trying? No, I think it's true. Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
No. Yeah, I think it's false.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
can you hear you?
Yes,
Yes, we
sir.
can.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yes,
So we
please.
are on question 4, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So what are you going for?
Yeah. So I think it's true.
False.
False. Why false?
So I think it should be honorary fellows and members, honorary members, not associate members.
So honorary members, honorary fellows, they are not obliged to pay PSGH dues or any form of retention fees. But associate members, you remember we said foreign nationals who are seeking membership with PSGH or pharmacy graduates undergoing their internship. So the time that you are doing your house job, you pay PSGH dues. At that time, you are an associate member. So you are obliged to pay. But when you are honorary fellow, honorary member, you are not obliged. All right, let's move on.
Number 5. All monies of PSGH should be paid into a bank account approved by the treasurer. True or false?
All right, so true or false?
False.
It's
So it's
false.
false, right? Why is it false?
According to the Article 8, Part 4, it says that all monies of the society shall be paid into any bank account approved by the board for the general current or deposit account of the society.
All right. So in terms of approvals, it should be approved. The bank account should be approved by the board, not the treasurer. Let's move on.
Question 6. Sewa is a pharmacist who recently developed a stroke and has been declared medically unfit to practice. Serena, who has been a former treasurer of PSGH, ceases to be a member of PSGH. True or false?
So true or false?
True.
Why true? Any reason?
So the law says that any member who has been declared medically unfit to practice shall cease to be a member.
But Serena was a former treasurer of PSG too. So she ceases to be a member because she's sick. Is that so? So if we are going by the law, then the law says that if you are declared unfit to practice, so when you are medically unfit to practice, you can't be a member of PSGH because PSGH is more like actively practicing pharmacist. So if you are medically unfit and you can't practice again, then you cease to be a member. All right, so let's move on.
Question 7. General meetings of PSGH are held yearly. True or false?
Okay, so what are you going for? What are you going for?
False.
I'm hearing false. Okay. Is everyone going for false? So those going for false, defend.
The meetings are held in alternate years.
Okay, I see. I disagree. The general meetings of the society for the law shall be of two categories, and these are annual general meetings and national conference. And these general meetings shall be held in alternate years. What it means is that if 2023 we have AGM, the next year will be national conference. They are all general meetings. So every year we'll have a general meeting, but they are held in alternation. The year that we have an election is known as the national conference. The year that we don't have any election is known as AGM, annual general meeting. So the AGM we just had this year, there was no election. So this is known as annual general meeting. But hopefully next year, the general meeting will be held in Cape Coast. And that's an election year for PSGH. So because it's an election year for PSGH, it's no more known as an AGM, but rather a national conference. But it's also part of the general meeting. So general meetings are held yearly, but it's in alternation because if we have AGM this year, the following year national conference, the following year AGM. Is it clear? All right, so let's move on.
Number 8. Annual general meetings of PSGH shall be held biennially in August or September. True or false?
All right, so true or false?
False.
Okay, I'm hearing false. Is everyone going for false? So why is it false?
It shall be held every other year in August or September.
But what does biannually or biennially mean? What does it mean? Isn't it every other year? You said it shall be held every other year. Is it the same as biennially?
Yes.
Okay, I'm hearing yes. Is there any opposition?
Dr. Isaac, please, no. I think it's once every 2 years. That's what it means.
Once every 2 years, that's what it means. But every other year means what? Oh, every other year means what?
Once every 2 years.
Uh-huh. So if I
And that's
use biennially, isn't it the same thing?
Yes,
Doc, it is the English.
It's the English thing. All right,
yeah.
that's fine. All right, so per the law states that it shall be held every other year. If you don't see every other year, it's the same as biennially. So once every 2 years. All right. So it's a true statement.
Number 9. All there are true about general meetings of PSGH except A. Annual general meetings usually occur in August or September. B. AGM occurring in an election year shall be termed a national conference. C. National conferences are held biannually. D. AGM shall be used to discuss both internal and external matters.
All right, so what are you going for?
C.
Oh, I see.
It should be biannually, not biannually.
Ah, okay. All right, so biennially means once every 2 years, right? But biannually means twice a year. So it's not held twice a year. So the exception is C.
Number 10. Delegate meetings shall replace annual general meetings in instances of logistics constraints. True or false?
All right, so true or false?
True.
So true, right? So whenever there's logistic constraints, we wouldn't have AGM, but rather the delegates will meet. Usually, these are the regional chairmen and members of the regional board, so they tend to meet. Logistic constraints usually will be issues with money. Maybe they are not getting sponsorship and all that, so they can say this year no AGM. They rather have a delegate meeting. All right, let's move on.
Number 11. All the following can request for a PSGH extraordinary general meeting except A. The executive secretary, B. The president, C. 7 board members, D. 30% of PSGH membership.
All right, which one are you going for?
30%. D.
D.
Okay, I'm hearing 30%. Any other answer? Is everyone going for 30%?
Yes.
No, please.
The executive secretary.
Yeah, so the executive secretary. Hmm? So per the law, aside your AGM, your national conference, if there is a matter of priority, of relevance, they can decide to have an extraordinary meeting. So this is an additional meeting. And this additional meeting can be requested by either the president, 7 board members, or at least 20% of the membership of the society present to have that extraordinary meeting. So the law says at least 20%. So 30% is more than 20%. List is 30%. So 30% can request for a meeting, but the executive secretary cannot. Let's move on.
Number 12. In the event of an extraordinary meeting, those calling for the meeting shall communicate their intention at least how many days to the executive secretary? A. 10 weeks, B. 4 weeks, C. 21 days, D. 14 days.
21
All right,
days.
which one are we going?
C. 21 days.
Yeah, so 21 days. All right.
Number 13. The agenda, time, and venue of an extraordinary meeting shall be communicated to the members within A. 2 weeks, B. 7 days, C. 21 days, D. 4 weeks.
7 days.
All right, what are you going for?
B. 7 days.
7 days. All right, so 7 days is correct. So when the executive secretary is satisfied with all the conditions within 7 days from the date of the receipt, we can notify all the members of the extraordinary meeting, the date, the venue, and the agenda.
Number 14. Board meetings of PSGH are held quarterly. True or false?
False.
All right, so true or false? I heard false, right?
Yes, please.
Is everyone okay? Is everyone going for false? All right. Why false? Any reason?
The meetings are held at least once every 3 months, so it can be more than the quarterly.
The meetings shall be held at least once every 3 months.
Yes, so it's more than
Now,
quarterly. It can be more than quarterly.
all right. So once every 3 months is quarterly, right?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So if there is no other meeting or there is no agenda to be discussed, every year they will meet quarterly. Whether there's something to discuss or not, it's mandated by law that they meet once every 3 months. Is that not so? Hello? Are you with me?
Yes, please, sir.
Yes.
So in the law, whenever you see shall, shall is interpreted as compulsory. Whenever you see may is an optional. It's an optional clause. But whenever you see shall is compulsory. So we are saying that the board shall meet at least once every 3 months. So at least once every 3 months means that within 3 months, whether there is anything or there's nothing to discuss, they still have to meet. It's mandated by the law. So in a year, they are likely to meet 4 times a day, or four times a year. And this is quarterly, right? If they are meeting 4 times a year, it's quarterly. But they may meet
Yes,
more than the quarterly, depending on whether there is an issue to be discussed or not. But they shall meet quarterly. Is it clear?
yes, sir.
Okay. So it's true.
Number 15. The time and venue of annual general meetings are determined by the president. True or false?
False.
So who determines the time and venue?
The board.
Is it the board or the chairman? Is everyone going for false? Hello?
Hello, sir.
Yeah, so is everyone going for false?
Yes, please.
So it's actually it. Is it? So the question is asking about the annual general meeting or board meeting. Which of them? Which of the meetings?
Annual general meeting.
All right. So that will be determined by the board, not the president. But if it's the board meeting, then we are looking at the time and also the venue being determined by the president. All right, let's move on.
Number 16. Specific matters that requires a special board meeting require the signature of at least how many board members? A 6, B 7, C 5, D 9.
C5.
Yeah, so 5.
Number 17. The presiding officer of SEC meetings is the A. The Vice President, B. The Executive Secretary, C. The President, D. The Editor.
Okay. So who is going to preside over SEC meetings?
The president.
Yeah, so the president presides over SEC meetings. In his absence, who does the who presides in his
The
absence?
vice president.
The vice president. Okay.
Number 18. The chairperson of SEC or board meeting shall have a deliberative vote in the case of equality of votes. True or false?
True.
What are you going for?
True.
True.
Okay, I'm hearing true. Any other answer? Is everyone going for true? So why are you saying it's true? I disagree.
Please, me, I'll choose false.
Why are you choosing false?
Okay, so when you read the constitution, it says that in the case of equality of vote, he's supposed to have a casting vote, not a deliberative vote.
Exactly. So the deliberative vote is the vote. So if there are 9 members, assuming pharmacy council, 9 members on the board, PSGH, you have like 32 people. So when they are voting, the one who is presiding, which is the chairman, will vote. So if there are 9 members, that means there's always going to be a decision because 5 people will go for yes, 4 people will go for no, or 4 people go for yes, 5 people go for no. So there's always a decision. The chairperson has a deliberative vote. But there could be an instance where a member is absent. When a member is absent, you have 8 people. And the 8 people, after the president has voted, you may have an equality 4-4, and he may have an additional vote, which is the casting vote.
Number 19. The quorum of National Conference of PSGH is A. 50% of the membership, B. 20% of the membership, C. 7 board members, D. 30% of the membership.
%20 of the membership.
Hello.
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 Yeah. Yeah. Sorry for the break. Where did we get to?
19.
All right. So the quorum. What's the quorum?
20% of the membership.
All right. So at all general meetings, the quorum shall be 20% of the total membership of the society in good standing. In good standing means the person has paid their dues. So 20% of the membership in good standing. So if you don't have 20% of the membership in good standing, then we can't start the meeting. But what's the quorum for the pharmacy council board?
5.
5. What about HEFRA?
5.
Okay. FDA?
7. 7.
7. Okay. All right. Let's move on.
Question 20. The minimum number of people needed in the disciplinary committee before can be made is A 4, B 6, C 50% of the membership, D 20% of the membership.
4.
All right. What are you going for?
A4.
Yeah, so 4. So the quorum for disciplinary committee is 4. It's made up of 5 members, and the quorum is 4. What's the quorum for the financial committee? What's the quorum for the financial committee?
50% of its members.
Yeah, so finance committee 50%, communication committee 50%, but the disciplinary committee is 4. They are all 5 members, so 50% is like 3 out of 5 because you can't have 2.5 person. So the 50% is like 3 out of 5 members. And the quorum for the SEC meeting. What's the quorum for the SEC meeting? What's the quorum? SEC meetings and board meetings.
50%.
50% of the total membership.
Yeah, so 50% of the total membership. So let's take note of that. Let's move on.
21. The common seal of PSGH consists of all the following except the A. The armorial bearings, B. The motto of PSGH, C. The crest of PSGH, D. The president's signature.
All right, so what are you going for?
D. The president's signature.
Yeah, so the president's signature. So the common seal shall consist of memorial bearings, crest, and motto, registered with the Registrar General Department. But the president's signature is not part.
22. Provisions of the PSGH Constitution can be amended by 2/3 of the members present, and voting shall be by raising of hands. True or false?
All right, so true or false?
False.
False.
So it's false. Mhm. So it's not by voting of hands, but rather by secret ballot. Let's move on.
23. On which date was the old PSGH Constitution abrogated? A. August 2014. B. September 2016. C. August 2016. D. September 2014.
August
All right, which one?
2016. C. August 2016.
Yeah, so August 2016. All right.
24. In the bylaws of PSGH, the reference to members include A. Full members. B. All members of PSGH. C. Full members and associate members. D. Full members and fellows.
All right, so members means what?
Full members and fellows.
Members and fellows.
Yeah, so full members and fellows.
26. 25. In the bylaws of PSGH, the reference to a chairman will only include a masculine character. True or false?
All right, so true or false? Chairman means a man, right?
False.
So false. So does it mean chairman can also mean a woman?
Yes.
Why is that so?
Okay, so from the law, it says that words importing the masculine gender only shall include the feminine gender and vice versa.
All right. So that means if you see chairman, it can stand for male or female. If you see chairwoman, it can stand for male or female. All right, let's move on.
26. Elion, a PharmD graduate in 2021, is set to write his GPPQE and become a professional pharmacist. The registration dues he must pay to become a member of PSGH when he finishes is determined by the board. True or false?
All right, so true or false?
It's true.
So it's true, right? So the registration
Yes.
fee for membership of the society shall be determined by the board.
Yes.
27. If Elion, in 26, should become a member of PSGH, the retention fees he would be paying subsequently is also determined by the board. True or false?
False.
All right. So true or false?
False.
False.
So it's false. Mhm. So the retention fee shall be determined by who?
General meeting of the society.
So the general meeting of the society. Mhm. So just this year AGM, there was a discussion that we should increase the retention fee by 1,000 cedis. So that was being determined by the assembly, the general meeting. It wasn't determined by the board. So if you are not present and they make the decision, it's not by the board, by the membership present during the meeting. They voted for it. All right, let's move on.
28. Any pharmacist who has failed to fulfill his or her PSGH membership dues shall receive a letter via a post office notifying him of outstanding dues by April. True or false?
Okay, so true or false?
True.
So it's true, right? So if you've not paid, ideally you should pay in January. So if you've not paid, they will start sending you letters by April. That was your membership dues. You are due. So it can be sent via post. And post, per the law, also means delivery by electronic means. So it doesn't relegate it to just electronic means, but also means electronic means. So it can be sent via post office.
29. The name of a pharmacist who has not fulfilled his PSGH membership dues shall be removed by the registrar by the 31st of December of the year in which it was due. True or false?
False.
Why false? If you've not paid your dues, won't the registrar remove your name?
Executive secretary.
Yeah, so what you have to understand is we have pharmacy, we have PSG. So you may have paid pharmacy council dues and you'll be in pharmacy council register. PSGH also have their register for members in good standing. So if you've not paid PSGH dues by 31st December, the executive secretary will remove your name, not the registrar. The registrar will remove your name from pharmacy council register if you've not paid the prescribed fee. But executive secretary will remove your name from the PSGH register.
Number 30. Which of the following members is not liable?
You are exempted from paying PSGH dues. Other than that, everyone is going to pay.
31. The abbreviation MPSDH stands for Honorary Member A. B. Member of PSGH. C. Honorary Member. D. A Master's Holder.
All right, what does it mean?
C. Honorary member.
Yeah, so honorary member.
Th- 32. One can vote for a member who is absent at a general meeting if he has been given authority by the absent member. True or false?
All right, so true or false? Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Sorry for the breaks. Where did we get to? I think question 32, right?
Yes.
Okay. So what are we going for? So is it a true or false statement?
True.
So if you're absent, can someone vote for you?
Yes.
All right. So can you explain why someone can vote for you if you're absent?
Yeah, so the law states that in the case of proxies, absentee members shall inform the executive secretary in writing who their proxies are at least 7 days prior to the election day.
Okay. All right. So every member shall have one vote at general meeting, and such votes may be given personally or by proxy. So it's either you are voting personally, or if you are not there, you can delegate someone to do it on your behalf. So it's allowed.
33. The chairman of an annual general meeting who would not be able to make it on a meeting scheduled on Monday can adjourn it to the next Monday if he will be available then. True or false?
All right. So is it a true or false statement?
False.
False.
Why is it false?
It should not extend beyond 4 days.
Yeah. So a chairman of the general meeting can adjourn it from time to time. However, he shouldn't extend it beyond a period of 4 days. So he's not available this Monday, but he'll be available the next Monday. That's 7 days. So that exceeds 4 days. So it's false.
34. Who is responsible for convening SEC or board meetings to its members? A. The executive secretary. B. The public relations officer. C. The communication committee. D. The editor.
All right. So who is responsible?
Executive secretary.
Okay. So executive secretary. That's true.
35. In the case of proxies, absentee members should inform the election officer in writing at least 7 days prior to the election day. True or false? True.
True.
All right. So true.
False. Uh,
So everyone is going for true.
False.
All right. False. Why false?
You should inform the executive secretary.
Okay. So you should inform the executive secretary, not the election officer. Do you
Yes, sir.
agree? Okay. Let's move on.
36. Dr. Sharon, is the current president of PSGH. Per the bylaws of PSGH, Dr. Sharon is the final spending officer of PSGH. True or false?
All right, so true or false?
True.
True.
So the final spending officer is the president. So it's true.
37. Who is responsible for all publications of the society under the Communication Committee? A. The auditor. B. The executive secretary. C. The public relations officer. D. The editor.
The editor.
So
B, the auditor.
yeah, so the editor.
38. Affixing of the common seal can be attested by the president and executive secretary only if other members are absent. True or false?
All right, what are you going for?
False.
Okay, why false? Why false? So affixing of the common seal can be attested by the president or vice president and the executive secretary or three members of the board. So you need the president or the vice president to be present and the executive secretary. So it's either the president with the executive secretary, the vice president with the executive secretary. If none of them are available, then three other members can attest to the common seal. Mhm. So the president with the executive secretary, the vice president with the executive secretary, or three other members. So it's false.
39. Mr. Alidu, a fellow of PSGH who lost two of his wives in an unfortunate car accident, is eligible to receive a cash donation from PSGH equivalent to
So
50%.
wait, question 38. It reads affixing of the common seal can be attested by the president and executive secretary only if other members are absent. So that's a true statement because you said the president and executive secretary, the vice president and executive secretary, or three other members. So the two of them are enough to affix the common seal if the other members are absent. So it's a true statement.
Doc,
Yeah.
Doc, please, there's no comma there, or so it's only if other members are absent.
All right. So the comma changes the answer. Does the comma change the answer?
No commander.
Doc,
Because the intention was once the president and executive secretary are present, they can sign it or they can affix the common seal if the other members are absent. Or you don't agree?
It is simple English.
But I agree with you that the comma can change a lot of the
Yes.
meaning because a fixing of the common seal can be attested by the president and executive secretary only if other members are absent. So it's sort of gives priority to the other members. So if they are absent, that is the only time the president and executive secretary can attest to it. But it doesn't necessarily have to be they being present. If just the two of them are present, they can affix the common seal. But you need that the president or the vice president to be with the executive secretary to affix it, or three other members. All right, let's move on.
39. Mr. Alibi, a fellow of PSGH who lost two of his wives in an unfortunate car accident, is eligible to receive a cash donation from PSGH equivalent to 50% of the annual membership subscription for each demised partner. True or false?
All right, what are you going for?
False.
5 4.
The donation is to be done once in the case of a spouse, the demise of a spouse.
Okay. So if a member loses their spouse, they receive a cash donation equivalent to 50% of their annual membership subscription to the bereaved member. Members shall be encouraged to attend the funeral. And this is to be done once. So the question is saying that they should pay 50% to each spouse, which is not true. So if your annual dues is 1,000 cedis, 50% of that is 500. So they'll pay 500 cedis once. They won't pay 500 cedis to because you lost two spouse, they'll give you 1,000 cedis. No, they'll only give you 500 cedis.
Question 40. What is the vision and core values of PSGH?
So what's the vision and core values?
So the vision, we strive for the well-being of all through the provision of excellent pharmaceutical services at all times.
Yeah, so we strive for the well-being of all through the provision of excellent pharmaceutical services at all times. So that's why we call ourselves friends of the human race. So what about the core values?
Core values: passion, integrity, leadership, collaboration, code of ethics.
Did you mention code of ethics?
No, it was a mistake.
Hey.
All right, so you should know the vision statement, the mission statement, the core values. So the core values, you are looking at passion, integrity, leadership, and collaboration. Mm. So passion, integrity, leadership, and collaboration. I think that's the last part.
Yes, please.
Okay, all right. So we'll end here. Hopefully, our next meeting will start with stroke. So we are done with the law aspect. The remaining things on the law, you just have to be reading, updating yourself on some current affairs from now to the exams. Mm. So the remaining clinical topics, I'll take you through stroke and maybe epilepsy. Is there any other question before we end?
Sir, please, just the PSGH, do the questions come a lot like section B or is mainly section A?
So I've told you that for the law aspect, you have to concentrate your 90% of your time on pharmacy council, because you can go there and all the law aspects will be pharmacy council. So if you read all the other laws and you don't read pharmacy council, you've done a course 90 job. But if you read just pharmacy council and don't read any other, you've done 90% of the job. So the 10% aspect is any other law that is relevant. So this is where HEFRA, FDA, NHIS, PSGH, this is where they all fall in. So you have to concentrate much of your energy on pharmacy council. And when you are done and you are very confident with pharmacy council, you start reading all the rest. So you never know when you have PSGH questions. That's why you need to read the rest. But pharmacy council is always conked that every year you have questions from pharmacy council. PSGH is not conk. So you never know. That's why you have to learn.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay. Any other question? All right. So if there's no other question, we'll end here.
Doc,
Hopefully our next meeting will do stroke.
doc,
Yeah.
please, the clinicals too, and the theory part. Please, can you tell us the pattern? As in the topic that normally dropped at the theory part.
For the clinical, you can't predict because now they are changing the trend. It used to be cardiovascular, endocrine. You know that if anything at all, for the theory aspect, you have something around cardiovascular, so heart failure, hypertension, arrhythmia, MI, or endocrine, thyroid, or diabetes. It was always around these areas for the theory aspect. But now, last year, I think there was a question on tinea capitis. So tinea capitis is one of the outliers. So you never expect such areas to come in section B. If anything at all, you think of section A. But we are having some of these appearing in section B, so you can't predict. So for the clinical, I'll just encourage you to learn as much as you can in terms of the areas. Whichever area comes, you just have to do your best in that aspect because you never know.
Oh, okay, doc. Thank you.
Okay. Any other question? All right. Then we end here. Have a good evening.